Hello everybody, how you doing? This is Kaylania, the Blessed Driver, and this morning I'm going to do this live blog here on deactivations, Instacart's lawsuits, and also some updates that I'm sure that you guys are aware of. And so I hope my hair looks okay because here, whatever. Okay, so the main reason why I'm doing this particular live blog is because I have had a slew of questions and comments from Instacart shoppers who were recently deactivated or who have been deactivated. And so, first off, before I even begin to talk about that, I honestly do not know why some people got deactivated. Now, I have heard their version of the story, and it's not that I don't believe anybody. I just have to take into account that I'm only hearing one side. Not that I don't believe you, because I'm sure that you're probably telling the truth, but also I know that Instacart has their set of rules and things like that. And however, they did get sued and stuff. So I know many of you have asked me, hey, I've gotten deactivated for no reason. What do I do? You've shared with me your acceptance rating, and you have also shared with me as far as customer comments, and just that you were doing okay, but they wrongfully deactivated you. And so honestly, the best answer that I can give you, because I have been asked, what do I do? I've emailed and no response. The best thing that I can suggest, because I really can't quite say, is to call them. And I know that all of you guys have Instacart's phone number and things like that. And so if you do not, I will leave that inside the description box below in case you do not have any contact information for Instacart. Now, keep in mind that when you do reach out to Instacart, you are not necessarily contacting them directly. You are actually being rerouted to a call center. I do know that Instacart does have their own office, like they do. They have Instacart offices and stuff like that, but they typically use call centers in order to handle customer calls and also shopper happiness calls and things like that. So, and I just want to express my concern, and also just let you know that I do care the fact that some of you guys were deactivated and stuff. And so but like I said, I don't even know, because I'm not there, but I have seen screenshots of people's screenshots of people's emails and their apps and stuff showing what happened. And some shoppers don't even work that much enough to even get deactivated, so I really can't say what's going on. So, but what happened was, and I'm sure that some of you guys are aware of this, and if you're not, I'm going to also leave a link to the lawsuit below. Instacart was sued recently, and this was like some months ago, but it was settled around March. It was settled around March or April. And basically what they were doing was they were just deactivating people for no reason. Like, they were just randomly deactivating people. And a lot of people just they needed their jobs because Instacart was their full-time job. They did nothing wrong. Their scores were good. Their metrics were good. They're just randomly just deactivating people and then hiring people in their place. Like, I have seen people complain that they were deactivated because they're too slow, and they were never told that they were going to be deactivated, or that they were or that their metrics were too low, or possibly their acceptance rating were too low. Like, you have to have like an 80% or higher in order to stay on the platform, meaning that you have to accept at least 80% of your batches in order to stay on the platform. And so, but this is relatively new, at least as far as I'm concerned, because this may not be in all zones, but I know that for those that get hourly guarantees, you have to make sure that you get 80% or higher acceptance rate for your batches. If not, they can potentially deactivate you, and you won't be able to work for them. And so from what I've heard, it's almost hard to even work with them again once they deactivate your account. But I don't know the entire details about that. I don't know everything about it. I just know from what I'm told, and also from what I see and things of that nature. So once again, I apologize if you guys are going through it. If you guys know somebody that's going through it, and I know it can be very difficult, especially when this is your full-time gig. And even this morning, speaking with different shoppers who had an issue with even getting hours and things like that. Like, I know they've hired like twice as many people in my zone, and I was able to get some decent hours next week. But anytime that it cuts close to my rent time, I want to make sure that I'm working like a certain amount of hours and making a certain amount, so that way my rent is covered. You know what I'm saying? And I always save my money and stuff. But I'm just saying, like, it's just certain morning hours I was not able to get because I hired so many people and they took them all. And so I just have to kind of hustle some kind of way to be able to compensate for that and things like that. So, but what I see, this is my perception. I think that right now Instacart is trying to find a way to legally deactivate people. And so, because they got sued because they were illegally deactivating people, and also they also got sued because they were intentionally trying to discourage customers from tipping us on the app. And so, once a customer completes, once a shopper completes shopping for the customer, then of course the customer will get a notification on their phone asking you to rate the service and also offering a tip or whatever the service fee is. But before, they weren't able to see that. And so recently I have seen online that some shoppers were threatened to be deactivated because one shopper took the initiative to pass out a flyer. I wouldn't suggest doing that because you can get in trouble, but passing out a flyer stating what the shopper fee is and what the Instacart fee is, and also versus tips. And so basically, and I'm sure you guys have probably heard about these flyers that are going around encouraging customers to bypass the service fee and just go ahead and tip the shopper. Like, I don't see anything wrong with that. However, Instacart discourages you passing out any paperwork and stuff like that. And like, I wouldn't do it only because it's not, they didn't give us permission to. And so I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade, but I'm telling you from what I saw is that she got in trouble for doing that. And so I think what happened was a customer complained because he preferred to give her a tip, but he was unaware that he was being deceived by Instacart by just going ahead and paying for the delivery fee or for the service fee. And so I think when he read that, I mean, I don't know the entire details of that, but that's as far as I know. And then she got an email from Instacart and also a phone call about that incident, but that the customer complained about it. I don't know. But I think that some customers do not want to be continuously reminded about the service fee and the tip issue, because that could be kind of like harassing in a way, because, I know as shoppers, we want to get our tips, but at the same time, you cannot force a customer to give you a tip. I mean, I'll be honest with you. And just as you are a shopper, I'm a shopper, we're also consumers as well. So imagine how every single time if a Instacart shopper was shopping for you, they constantly remind you about the tip and the service fee. I mean, you don't want to hear that all the time. You know what I mean? And also, I believe that someone had posted that the customer was upset because there was some kind of a dialogue with the template. Now, in a previous video, I stated that how I communicate with new customers is that I have some notes somebody just said, in the end, Instacart will be fined and will make millions through illegal activity. But in a previous video, I had said that how I interact with new customers is that I have notes saved in an app, which is called like My Notes or something. And that is copy and paste it. And that's usually for like new customers. And so just to let them know, hey, I'm shopping for you today. If you have any questions, blah, blah, blah. It's just something simple. But I don't continuously like post and send customers like, pre made templates every single time I shop for them. It's only for new customers. And so every once in a while, of course, I'll communicate with customers that I'm shopping for. I might say, hey, I'm shopping for you today. If any questions, let me know. Well, it's like whatever. But most customers, that's how a lot of shoppers get in trouble. Most customers do not want to be bothered. Like, they don't want you to text them. They don't want you to message them. They don't care about no replacements, but anytime that I am shopping and there are replacements, I do still reach out regardless, just in case, because if you replace it and it's something that they don't want, well, I mean, how would you know if they're okay with that? Like, and I always let them know, hey, I'm getting ready to check out soon. Please review any pending items if you're okay with that. If not, I'm going to go ahead and proceed to check out. It's something simple. But however, some customers just don't want to be bothered. And so I'm just seeing what's happening at this particular time is that Instacart is starting to try to find loopholes to get away with trying to deactivate you. And I have always gotten emails, or when I have called to talk to Shopper Happiness, that they're always saying, oh, you're fine, your ratings are fine, your scores are great, et cetera, et cetera. And they say that once you get below a certain score, then they'll reach out to you and talk to you about that, whatever the case may be. However, I'm not sure if Shopper Happiness will contact you or if your mentor or whoever it is. But right now, I mean, I don't think that I have the best mentors or leaders in my zone. I don't. And so, but I'm not even sure. But from what I've told, it's like, this is what I see. I'm telling you guys, this is what I have seen with my own eyes, is that a lot of the new shoppers that they've hired in my area and also other zones in different states, they actually have gotten younger. Like I see them, they're younger and younger by the minute, and like they look very young. And I believe that Instacart feels like if they hire younger people, then they'll be able to go faster, which means that they're able to get the customer's order on time and things like that. I have also seen shoppers show and even provide screenshots that Instacart deactivated them because they were too slow or they weren't delivering their deliveries on time. And so I don't know how far out that they're not delivering their customers' orders. I don't know. And I wasn't even aware that Instacart can deactivate you for that. From what I've seen, they can. So say suppose if like you're doing a double batch and they send you a double batch around 2:30 p.m., right? And you look at the items and then, not the items, but you actually look at the batch and then you see, okay, order A is due at maybe 3:45 and order B is due at 4. And so it's going to take you about 15 minutes to get to the store. Of course, you got to shop, and maybe order A has, 30 items, and order B maybe has 15 or, 20. Of course, you got to look into that. And maybe even possibly if you have deli items, just whatever. There are factors that can actually slow you down while you're in the store. One thing is traffic and weather. If there's an accident on the road, if the store is busy, there's so many things. And so there are some things that will slow you down while you're shopping for a customer. And so there are circumstances that are beyond our control. But like I said, I was unaware that you can get deactivated for being either too slow or not delivering items on time. And that was new to me. And so, there are reasons for that. And so that's why it's important to deliver your items within that time window. Because what I have seen from experience, and whether or not Instacart wants to admit this or not, but from what I have seen, is that like when you do deliver your item on time, you will get more batches. And like if you guys were on the town hall a couple of days ago, like the guys, like they said that they prioritize batches and they give them to the new people, which is not fair. They give them, and that's why it's been so slow for us. And also how fast you are. Like the faster you are, the more batches you'll get. Which makes sense because you definitely don't want somebody out there that's taking 200 items per second to scan. Like you don't want to do that. Not 200 items per second, but per minute. And so you definitely want to make sure that there are people that are going fast, which makes sense because that's this Instacart slogan is like the groceries in an hour or less, and it makes sense. However, I just see that there's been changes since I started, and I've been on the platform since since October of last year. But when they launched, I officially started in November of last year. So I've been about 8 months or so. And like I said in my previous videos, I'm grateful and I do like Instacart. However, I find myself kind of looking for other opportunities and I'm slowly pulling back. And even this week, like a week like this, I would have probably made about $700 to maybe $800 or $900 or something like that. But I made like 5 something. And that's only because I did cut some hours. And second, the first thing is because they hired so many people, it was slow. And even other shoppers that have been on the platform just as long as I have, it was slow for them too. Because I've talked with them because they were giving it all to the new people. And also, there were some hours that I cut back because, I wasn't feeling too hot. And whenever I'm not feeling well or something, or if my body is telling me to rest, I rest. And so one thing with me is that I always make sure that I trust God because he's my provider. And so he's always provided for me. And even when 2 weeks ago, I made over $1,000. I made $1,100. And so, but that was during the week I needed the money. And so, but did I work? Yeah, I worked 72 hours and I busted my butt, but I needed that for my rent. My rent was on time and everything. And so I have to remind myself that this is my job and do I need it? Yes. But I'm also doing other things to compensate for any loss that Instacart is doing because I just kind of feel like there's something going on that they're not being honest with us about, and they're only telling us so much. And so I'm not going to sit up here and worry about it. Am I concerned? Yes. But I'm not going to bite my nails over it. And so this is an app-based gig. And for those of you guys know that, it's with Uber, with Lyft, with Postmates, with Caviar. I mean, there's so many of these app companies that are popping up. And it's I guess they figure, hey, we're making millions and billions of dollars and we can do whatever we want. And no, you cannot do whatever you want. And so my thing is, if we are working for you, even though we are technically independent contractors, we're not treated like that because we're kind of treated like employees, And so the only The only flexibility that I feel as an independent contractor that we have that will separate us from being an employee is the fact that we can change our schedule whenever we want. You know, we have the flexibility in alternating our schedule, and we also use our own vehicles, and we do not have health care. I mean, and it's really not too much of a difference from being an actual employee. And I do believe it's very important to get health insurance, especially being an independent contractor. Now, they do provide that through Stride, and I know regularly Instacart, but Uber had that in their app. DeAndre asks, do you have the hourly guarantee in my market? Unfortunately not. DeAndre, no, we don't have it in my market. Now, to address that, like when I first started, and this is with any new shopper, whenever you first start Instacart, you get an hourly guarantee for like the first 3 weeks, I think. And that is kind of like that's like a cushion to get you comfortable with the platform, because just in case if you do have a lot of hours that they give you, if you're working, and if it does happen to be slow, you won't get discouraged because you know you're still getting hourly. And I remember around the holidays, from like the first time I started throughout the holidays, I was getting hourly, and then I noticed that after like December, I was getting it for a while, about 2 months maybe, if that. And after that, I wasn't getting it anymore because I was making more than the $10 an hour, you know, hourly guarantee. But some zones don't have it. But however, this is what also is causing deactivations, is that if you are in a zone that has an hourly guarantee, and if you fall below that 80%, then yeah, they'll deactivate you, which is really weird. And this is why I believe that they're trying to find things in place, that they're trying to find loopholes, to try to find a reason to get rid of people. So I believe that hourly guarantees will be for everybody eventually soon. I believe that they're going to start hourly guarantees in all zones, in all states, for everybody, because not everybody gets them. What I do not like about that is that I do think that if a company has specific rules and specific criteria in order to work with them, then yes, we have to abide by the rules. However, what I do not like is the fact that we're being called independent contractors, but they have all these sets of rules and regulations and things like that, and we're not being treated like that. You feel what I'm saying? And so, and also, like I've noticed that, you know, being an independent contractor for Instacart, you know, they're right now what I'm seeing, because they had got sued, is because they're trying to find a way to make things look legalized in order to get rid of you. So like that's why they have an hourly guarantee. I'm serious. Like it's almost like bait. And I know a lot of people like, yes, I get hourly guarantee, and if I don't get any batches, or if it's slow, I can just chill and still make hourly, which is good, you know, because I would love that. Somebody just said we have hourly guarantee in my market. They use our tips towards that. Okay. So I'm just saying like, but however, to keep the hourly guarantee and to keep your job, you got to accept at least 80% of your batches. And from what I've seen, from what one shopper has showed me, he showed me that like he was like at a certain percentage in his acceptance rate, and I think he was below it. Like I think it was like one batch he didn't accept or something, and then it dropped his score like really low. And he was like, "How is that possible when this is like my first time like not accepting or acknowledging a batch for this week?" Because I think like when he just started for that week, as far as like, you know, his schedule, I don't know, but basically like once you have the hourly guarantee, and the way that you'll know if you have that, as far as the acceptance rate, if it's mandatory in your zone, is if when you go into the app, and I should have had my other phone so I can show you. When you go into the app on the left, you'll see how am I doing with like a little bullseye or something, like circles. When you tap on that, you'll see it. If you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see like acceptance rate or something, and it'll show you. But so if you have that, then yeah, you're gonna have to make sure that you're accepting your batches, and that you have at least 80%. What I don't like about the acceptance rate is that you have to, it's like they're making you accept batches that you don't want. Now, I know you can't like always not accept batches, but like, oh, I don't want this, I don't want that, because you got to be grateful that you're working, right? However, I just noticed that for me, I had got Costco taken off of my account, and they lied to me and said that they took it off, and they didn't, because I was still getting Costco orders. And so, what they do, this is one thing that they do, so that way they can try to keep you locked in, and also this will also affect your your employment with them, is that if there is an issue, they're going to tell you to email shoppers@instacart.com. So if you call about something like you want Costco taken off, or if you're calling about reliability, this is whatever, sometimes they'll tell you to email. And the reason why they say that is because they feel like it's not a priority. My thing is, if you are working for a company, you are a priority. And I don't believe as a human being, we should be treated like a piece of meat. If you got a call or a question or concern about anything going on with Instacart as an independent contractor, yes, to me, you are a priority. And I don't care if somebody calls and says, hey, you know what, I have a question about my pay. I don't want to email nobody because that's my paycheck. So my thing is, if Instacart is so concerned about making money and making sure that customers are getting their orders and their batches on time, well, to me, they need to make sure that we are treated right. Now, I don't think that we should treat the customers any kind of way or take it out on them because Instacart is doing it to us. But what I'm saying is, it's like, I don't believe that we should be treated a certain type of way in order for the company to make money. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's one thing I don't like. I mean, the hourly guarantee is good. Like I said, it's good, but it's how they do it. Somebody just said, yes, they do. I'm not sure what you mean, but I don't know what you mean by that. Sorry. But I mean, I hope you understand like what I'm saying. And so, this whole independent contractor stuff, I mean, I just feel like I just want to pick it up and just throw it out the window. But like I said, I'm grateful. But at the same time, you can still be grateful and feel like you're underappreciated at the same time. And I just don't like the way that they're doing stuff now. And from what I've been told from other shoppers who've been on the platform for the past couple of years, they have said that things have changed just drastically over the past year. Now, what has changed, I don't know, because I haven't been on the platform long enough to see it. But those that I know that are in California are like, you know what, things aren't the same anymore. Like Instacart used to be the bomb. And so my thing is, I believe that, like when some companies begin to make money, they begin to get greedy. And so once they begin to make all that money, then now it's like it's all about the mighty dollar. And that's why the Bible says that the love of money is the root of all evil. Not money, but the love of it. And so once you get to the point where all you care about is the almighty dollar and not care about your employees or your staff or whatever, then yeah, that's a problem. And I'm telling you guys this, if Instacart got sued one time, yeah, they're going to get sued again. I promise you that. And so right now, I can't go into a whole lot of detail on a live video, but trust me, there are shoppers that are working on some stuff. And I just kind of feel like, Instacart didn't learn from it the first time. You feel what I'm saying? And so right now they're trying to create rules and they're trying to create things in our contract to change stuff. So if we're not doing it or if we're not making enough or whatever it is, then they'll have a valid reason to let us go. Because they did it the first time just cutting people off, but now they have to find a reason. And what I don't like is the fact that sometimes like they don't send you an email, like a warning email all the time. They don't always tell you stuff. They might just deactivate you or try to find something. So you might not even know what you did. Because like for instance, like there are some shoppers who make great scores, like their metrics are great. They may have like a 4.9 or a 5.0 or 4.87, like whatever it is, and Instacart will deactivate them. And they have like a 90% acceptance rate. I mean, they're fun, and they're like, why? Somebody asked me, do I do shipped? I'll actually get to that in a minute, Lady Justice. And so, but then they were deactivated, and so they don't understand what they did. And one thing that I do know from personal experience is that if somebody calls and lies on Instacart about you, whether it's a customer or a employee from one of the grocery stores, and yeah, they'll deactivate you too. Like, it's crazy because that almost happened to me recently, and I'm sure you guys probably seen the previous vlog about the deli worker that lied on me, and because I just simply asked her about the order that I placed like an hour before that. Anyway, you have to actually watch the video because I don't want to go into a whole lot of detail. And she lied because she was afraid that I was going to tell on her. And so, but I never said nothing to her about it. And so basically I got in trouble, and they because she contacted the manager. The manager contacted, I think Instacart or corporate or Publix. I can't remember what it was. But then my area manager contacted me, asked me what happened. I told him the truth. I said, look, if you look at the videos, I was like, there are videos that are there. He didn't want to do it. Basically said to me, it shouldn't happen again. And I haven't been back to that store since. And so my thing is, that'll also get you fired, is if you have conflict with a grocery worker or a cashier or a manager, and some people just may not like you. It could be something simple. you'll get in trouble. And I'll also be very careful of, even like when you get those samples. Like, I know sometimes, like, I've heard that you can get fired or terminated or deactivated or whatever from the Instacart platform if you get samples. Like when you go to Costco or if you go to the grocery stores, and you know how they have like little tables where they give out samples, like, you know, like food or drinks or whatever. I was told that you can get deactivated for that. I don't know if that's true, but my thing is, I'm a grown woman. So you mean to tell me that I can't briefly just grab something and nibble it and keep on going? That's what I was told. I mean, to me, I feel like that's almost like slavery. You feel what I'm saying? As long as you're not stopping and talking and carrying on a conversation with them people, and it's dropping your time, you're all right. You feel what I'm saying? But I was told that can actually get you deactivated, and God forbid if that sample person that's giving out the samples tells on you for whatever reason, like that has happened. That's what I've seen. People have posted that they had an issue. The person giving out the samples went back in line and said something, and then they got in trouble for that. So I mean, it's almost like you have to be on your P's and Q's. And to me, I don't find any peace in that. Like, I don't find any peace in having to always look over my shoulder, having to worry about who's doing what. And sometimes I see a mentor or, shift lead in the store. And how I know they ain't shopping for nothing is because they always have like little stuff in their cart. Because me, like I'm like zooming through the store and they like, have the phone look up over at me or whatever. And they go back to just doing the little stuff. And I'm like, you're not even going fast. So by the time I'm getting ready to check out, they have like a few items. And sometimes I don't even see them check out. So that's how I know. You know what I mean? And so it's stuff like that miss me with that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see Uber or Grubhub or anybody, monitoring people like that, checking on people in the restaurants. It's just, I don't know. And I can understand that Instacart wants to make sure that they have a good team of people that are working with them as far as shoppers to make sure that they provide a good customer experience and stuff like that. But I'm telling y'all, it's not always like that with some stores. You got some people that work in these grocery stores that are just as nasty as they want to be. And that can potentially get you in trouble, especially if they go and tell on you, no one's going to fend for you. You feel me? And so, which is going to lead to my last thing that I'm going to talk about. And before I get to that, somebody asked me, do I do Shipt? I have applied with Shipt three times. And I did not get hired. And so they said that you've already applied before. Better luck next time. It's whatever they said, so I don't care. My thing is if that door does not open, it is not meant for me, and I'm just gonna leave it like that. So no, I don't do Shipt because I tried, and I'm not worrying about it because I'm trying to get to the place where the money that I make per week with Instacart, I want to be able to make that in a day, every day. You know what I'm saying? So if I make like close to $1,000 a week or $1,000 a week, I want to be able to make that every day. And the only way that I can do that is to be an entrepreneur. Some people have careers where they can do that. You know what I mean? But to me, Instacart is not a career. It's a gig. You know what I'm saying? So that was my offer up. But to me, it's a gig. It's a great gig. And it pays the bills, and I'm grateful for that. But when it gets to the point where like I'm just like, God, like really, nah. I mean, it's kind of like being in a relationship that you know doesn't work anymore. And you're miserable, but you feel like you just have to put up with it because of the kids or whatever. Nah. But right now, I'm cool. I'm cool with it because it's working for me. And like I said, I like it. Instacart is not a bad company at all, but it's just how they do it. Somebody said, have I heard of GoPuff? It's similar to Instacart. No, DeAndre, once I end this video, go ahead and drop it in my comment box and share that link because I don't think I've ever heard of them. There are other platforms, you guys. I'm burning up because my AC is not working right in here. There are other platforms, Thank you so much. There are other platforms that I know people are going to now. And I know, what is it? What's the name of it? It's another platform, Boxed. It's called Boxed. And Boxed is similar to Instacart. But the thing about Boxed is that you have to get bulk items, like stuff in bulk, and deliver it. And for me, I ain't down with that because I know that Shipt recently partnered with Costco. And so it's happy-go-lucky. My thing is, well, good for you. But I'm not going to be carrying like thousands of pounds of stuff in my car. Like I have a small Ford Focus, like really. And so like I think Box may be a good idea for some people, that have trucks and stuff like that. But I don't know. But I actually will provide more information on other gig companies for you guys. And I'm going to put those on my website because I haven't really put much on my website recently. So, I mean, I've been busy doing other things. And so I apologize if I haven't put that on there. But just give me some time because right now I'm working on other things, and I don't want this to be like my main focus because I have a book I need to finish writing. I have like films I haven't really finished doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I have websites I haven't completed. So like, there's things I have to complete first. Somebody said, I feel you're right. Gig income is great as we go through transitions in life, but not a permanent income. And you're right. Like some people, like for some people, this might be a permanent thing for them as far as Instacart, as long as they're around. And for some people, it's like transitionary income. Like they might be doing this for like a year or a couple months, couple weeks, couple years until they get something better. And I know it may seem kind of challenging or discouraging, especially knowing that some like the money that you make from Instacart, it's good, but you might not make that at a regular job. You feel what I'm saying? So you might make like 1,000 with Instacart a week or 700 a week with Instacart, but then you go to a regular paying job, you may not make that much. You know what I'm saying? And so I know, trust me, like I am trying to find out, and maybe even some of you guys have degrees. Like I know some of you guys probably have college degrees, PhDs, masters, bachelors, associates, like whatever, or maybe you have certain skills or trainings or certification stuff, and you're like, I can't even get a decent paying job with my degree, but I'm doing Instacart, or doing Uber or whatever. And trust me, like I've seen people that have degrees and they're doing Uber full time. Like people have made a business off of this. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool. My thing is, and I'm going to leave this on a positive note. If this works for you, let it work for you then. But I just want you guys to be aware of some of the things that are going on. So when something pops off, you guys won't be surprised. You see what I'm saying? And I also want you guys to be aware of about Instacart's history, because they have a history. And like from what I have been told, like it wasn't always like this. Lady Justice says, that's my problem. I have a bachelor's degree too, and it's hard to find a good paying job. I totally understand that. And here in Orlando, like I have, like I know a lot of women who are life coaches, and some of them do like a ridiculous amount of money. Like they make good just by helping people, start their businesses or their careers in the ministry and stuff like that. And that's something I would like to do, but I just don't want to, I just don't have the time to do all that. It's just so much. And so am I going to do consulting? Yes, I am, very, very soon. But right now, I'm just trying to prioritize myself. And that's something that I have not done, y'all. Like hardly ever getting any sleep, working so much. And I did not take hardly any time for me. This week I did that. Normally on a week like this, when it's just me and my son is, and like my son is with his dad at his house, like I actually took the time to work on some of my websites. I worked on some of my photography. I did something for me for a change. And so I see where I was slacking with making money and my other side gigs because I was too busy doing this. Working 8 to 8 every day or 9 every day. By the time I get home, I'm tired. And I don't want to do nothing but just eat and go to sleep, which is why I gained all this weight. Like eat and sleep. That's it. And getting fat, And so now this week, I felt like something just hit me. And I believe the Lord said to me, it's just now you need to start focusing on you, because I have a teenage son and he's getting ready to go into the 10th grade. And it's like, I don't care what y'all say. Boys are expensive. Like, I think boys are more expensive than girls, because girls, we can find a way to budget and make it work, even on a low budget. And like, even if it's a name brand, we can still make it look like it's, not with boys. I got to share this with y'all. Sorry, but it's funny. A couple months ago, I think it was a couple months ago or last year, my son and I went to, now here in Orlando, there's a place called the Magic Mall. And if you guys have never heard of it, it's like a strip mall that's kind of like, it's in a black area, but it's really popular. It's been around for like 30 years or 20 something years. It's been around for a long time. And so it's mostly African Americans and some Asians. They sell their own items in the store, like clothes, jewelry, shoes, makeup, and just whatever. And so one day me and my son went in there, and I was looking at some shoes, and they were Adidas. I was like, oh man, these are nice, because I was going to actually buy them. I was like, these are pretty nice, decent price. And my son, at the time, he was like 14. He's 15 now, but he's like, Mom, no. I was like, what? He goes, Mom, these are not real. I was like, I was like, yes, they are. How do you know? He goes, Mom, these have 4 stripes. he's like, Adidas has 3. I was like, oh my God. So I didn't know. So like stuff like that, but back to what I was saying, like, people like that, they have their own hustle, and they do their own thing. And so I love to see people hustle. I ain't talking about out there slinging crack, but I'm talking about hustling. Like, they have a business. They're doing something that they're passionate about. And that's what I've been feeling this week. Like, I've been feeling like that so strong in my spirit, just like This has to be like a push to push out into your passion. You know what I'm saying? And so I've been working on that slowly, but at the same time, I feel like sometimes I'm drawing myself back into worrying about what Instacart is doing, what's going to happen, because even though the money's good with Instacart, I still feel like I'm doing like the whole paycheck to paycheck thing, and I'm just kind of I'm ready to get past that right now. And so anyway, guys, to go forth with this, if you guys feel like you are not getting your tips, if you're feeling like or if you know that you have a referral bonus coming your way and they have not paid you, if you have been deactivated for no particular reason, if you feel like you're being harassed, if there are some things that are going on that you know that are wrong or illegal or whatever the case may be with either Instacart or maybe any of these gigs, you guys might want to seek legal action or at least talk to an attorney, because there are some shoppers, I ain't gonna say some, a lot of shoppers, they're doing that right now. And so my thing is, I just feel like if you don't want to do something right the first time, then don't do it at all. Because Instacart got slapped with a lawsuit, and now they're trying to do things differently, but trying to do it more slick, like in a way that make it seem like they're really for us, but but still they have us on a leash. Like, okay, well, I won't deactivate y'all, but I'll give you an hourly guarantee, but you gotta have 80% or more. Still, it's a leash. And my thing is, I feel like, and I'm not trying to, I need to say this in the right way. I'm trying to say this in the right way. How can I say this? We are not slaves. None of our names are Toby. You feel what I'm saying? And I don't care what color you are. I don't care what your ethnicity is, what your sexual orientation is, whatever. Like, none of us should have to tap dance and beg for a tip. To me, I don't like that. And also, dealing with some of these customers, they treat us, oh my God, some of these customers are just so wrong. And lying and saying items are damaged, lying and saying items are missing, lying and saying that poor service when you came there with a smile and you were nice, and you make sure that you stay in constant communication with them on the app. I mean, you gave your all, and they turn around and lie. And to me, it's a slap in the face, because Instacart tells us don't worry about the ratings and don't worry about what they say, whatever. But then if you do have a low rating, they'll threaten to deactivate you, or like they'll just do it randomly. So if we're not supposed to be concerned about when customers rate us, then why even have a rating? Feel what I'm saying? Instacart says that it's a customer's overall experience with the service. So if it's their overall experience, then we don't need to see it, because it has nothing to do with you. Now, if it was a personal thing where the shopper did do something or forgot an item, because I've forgotten items plenty of times, if that was the case, then yeah, we should know about that. But I don't think it should be where you just know that you did not forget nothing. How in the world can you damage a jug of milk? That's happened to me before. And customers are trying to get free shipping, not shipping, but free delivery. They're trying to get, free, just something for free. Or they're trying to get a free redelivery and there's nothing wrong with it. And sometimes I inspect the items before I deliver it. I do that, especially with like fruit and vegetables and whatever, or even like crackers or chips or whatever. I make sure that they're not crunched. I put them on a different side compartment of my car. Any cold or frozen items, they're inside of my cooler. Like, I make sure that everything is straight. Now, if something is not there, then of course, they're not going to get it because it's out of stock. And if they don't want a replacement, then they'll say so. But yes, have I ever forgotten an item? Yeah, I've done that. And it happened to me the other day where it was a different incident. I want to go into detail, but basically the customer didn't come, and it took me about 30 minutes to deliver her order. And she couldn't hear there was something going on with her phone. I don't know, whatever. And she apologized. But however, I was late to the next customer's order, and I didn't get done to almost 10 o'clock at night. And I forgot his dog food in my car. It wasn't until I got home, I looked back, I'm like, what is that in my car? I'm like, oh my God, it's dog food. Because I was so caught up with getting her stuff. And she ended up giving me a low rating. And y'all, like, my rating for this week is very low. Like, this is the lowest I've had it since I've been on the platform. Very low. It's still in the 4 points, but it's in the low 4 points. And I think that's so unfair. Like, when stuff like this happens, or something is out of stock, or if a customer's not there, we gotta wait, and then the next customer's order is late. That's not fair. And so that's my other issue, is that being late. Like, what do you do if you're going to be late? I mean, it's stuff like that you have no control over. And so I just wanted to touch base with y'all, because this has been like 40 minutes. I didn't realize it was like 40 minutes. Like, oh my God, I talked for so long. But I am going to update my website. Somebody said for Instacart, I think we can choose between being a shopper or delivery driver, or both. Which would you recommend? Now, that's a good question. because from what I've been told, because like I've had people to wonder about that, I would say do full service shopping, being a FSS, because you get paid more. Because you not only get paid to shop per item and stuff, you also get paid to deliver it. So if you're just a driver, you don't get paid for the shopping. The in-store shopper does. So you're only so if you were just going to be a driver for Instacart, you'll get paid about half. So if you're making like $800 or $900 a week, you probably get paid about 4 or 5, if that. So I would say just do the full service shopping, because and also the downside to that, just being a driver, is that if you just go pick up the items and deliver it, you still get dinged for anything missing, anything damaged, anything, whatever. Because even though the in-store shopper shopped it, and I've seen this, I'm telling you, I've seen pictures that people posted. I have seen pictures, y'all, that some of these in-store shoppers, like the bags are all over the place, and they just got looking ratchet. And some of these stores where they have these in-store shoppers, just packaging things inside, like the little, like the little organizer, like the storage areas. It's like unsanitary. You know what I'm saying? And the only place you cannot get away with that at is at Disney. Now here, like I said, I'm in Orlando, and sometimes I work in that zone, and so Disney does not play. They don't play. Oh my God, they're so strict. And so you need to make sure you have a label with Disney, like, and which I think is a good idea, especially if you deliver in paper bags. Like, you have to have the customer's name, their room number, the date, all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you have to put it in a paper bag, make sure that it's folded, and put it in a specific area. That's how they roll. But with just being a delivery driver, you can make okay, but you still will get the penalties of whatever that shopper inside the store did. Like whatever the in-store shopper did, you get the penalty for. So even though you didn't shop or have no issues, so they could just throw the stuff in the bag and have crushed eggs or whatever. But from what I've heard, that some in-store shoppers get the most brunt of the issue. Like, it's like their scores are different than ours. Like, they have to shop faster than us because you're coming to pick it up and drop it off. You see what I'm saying? So they have to shop real fast. And then of course check out and stuff. So I would recommend you stay in the FSS if you can. But if you want to just drive, I mean, that's cool. You know, if it's something that you want to do part-time or just I don't know, but just it's kind of like a personal preference. But I would stay a full service shopper, so that way you can actually get paid more. Because think about it, you only get paid just to deliver. It ain't much. You know, it's just like delivering pizzas or something. You didn't make the pizza, but you just deliver it. You know what I mean? So so somebody said thank you. Do the shoppers get tips or just the drivers? You know what? I'm not quite sure. That's a good question. My assumption would be the drivers would get a tip, but don't quote me. Don't quote me on that because I'm not quite sure. But I will look into that for you. And actually shoot me an email. My contact information is down there below. It's info@theblesseddriver.com, and I will look into that for you if you're interested in that. So that's a good question. But yeah, guys, I need to bounce. I need to get off of here. I know there's one more thing I was going to discuss. I can't remember what it was. I believe I touched on everything as far as what's going on right now, but I just kind of feel like a transition is coming, and I pray that I don't get deactivated or anything. But I just thank you, Mr. Safety. I just kind of feel like things are changing now with the company. It's not the same, and I would hate to see Instacart go on the same route as what Uber did, because the CEO of Uber, like with ex-CEO Travis, like he's going through it. And I can't say that he deserved it. I can't say he didn't because I don't want to touch that. You know, he lost one of his parents. It's just so sad. But at the same time, like, I just feel like when people get so prideful and think that they can't be touched and they can treat people in a kind of way, God will deal with that for sure. So if you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop them in the comments box below. And I'll try to touch on more topics. But right now, I'm just going to kind of like, I'm going to still be doing videos and vlogs here and there, but I need to focus on some other stuff. So I'm going to try my best to help you guys as much as I can. But like I said, if you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comment box below. And you can also email me. I would say email me is very good. Like emailing is probably like one of the best ways. I check my comments regularly and stuff like that, but I might always get to them. So I need to go. God bless y'all. Peace.